Good afternoon, this is Simon and the Prestige team, gardening service team that we're currently almost at the finishing touches now of the lawn in respect to relaying, returfing, and getting this particular garden into a position where it's ready to hand over to the client in regards to the finishing article. Now then, 3 or 4 weeks ago, sorry, I beg your pardon, 3 or 4 days ago, this was effectively a jungle. And if we look back and think about how high the grass was and the turfs and the trees, it was a significant area which has basically been, it's been cleared and basically taken down to ground level. And then obviously we've then applied a significant amount of skill in regards to re-levelling, resurfacing and treating the soil in regards to getting this ready and preparing it properly for the lawn to go down. And there's a lot of different particular methods and procedures to consider when you're actually re-turfing, whether you're grass seeding or whether you're actually laying turf down that we are. As you can see now, some of the team here, Mike and Paul, very carefully placing these slabs down, rolls down. They're about a metre square, and they've effectively putting it down in a kind of a brickwork position. They're not all laid down equally, and that effectively allows the actual grass edges to knit together very, very nicely. So these are the two leading edges that have obviously squeezed together extremely well. And obviously before that can have happened, we've had to obviously treat the actual surface, so the soil, and also the foundation. We've had about 2 tons of topsoil that's been treated on this bed, without obviously saying that we've removed a significant amount of debris. I mean, just have a look at this, clumps of old clay and old turf. It's just effectively really been quite poor condition and just not treated well. And obviously if you don't look after grass, you don't look after the lawn and the actual surface, it just effectively becomes a waste ground and something which clearly is very difficult to manage. So with regards to this, we're almost at the final stages of handing this over. We're completing a very big job here with some of the lads, and it's all about the team. It's nice to step back and have the team work together and get these jobs completed whilst we're on other different sites. Clearly we've got to consider that of drainage as well, and certainly towards the back end of the actual area. You've got to be conscious of the fact that, you know, if you take the grass right up to the actual edge of the fence, it looks quite neat and tidy. However, it's difficult sometimes to actually mow, so we like to leave a bit of a gap. There are some areas which are obviously concerning sometimes. You're never going to get an area which is very clean. You've got stumps to consider, so we like to cut around these and finish these off quite neatly. And we'll make that a kind of a feature, flatten that off, and then we put a plant pot on top with some nice flowers. You can see a nice leading edge up against the garage, and at the moment this is coming down quite nice, quite neatly by Paul, by Mike and by Danny. So if we just come in a little bit closer here and just show you some of the techniques that we use in regards to effectively knitting these together. Paul's doing an sterling job here, offsetting the actual grass. It does make me want to have a bit of a putt here on this grass, or a chip, being an avid golfer, but it's difficult.
Any chunks out?
No, I can't take any chunks out. And divots.
No divots.
Absolutely not. So talk me through some of the particular techniques then, Paul, that you're using at the moment on knitting these together, or certainly the one that we did before when we overlapped some of the areas, because that's something that I've noticed quite a couple of times, where you've got short lengths, longer lengths, etc. People get to the end of the curb here. As you can see, the pin curbs have been lifted out, and we've got to a situation where we're at the end here, and we've got a gap to fill, only about 1.5 inches. I'm actually placing my knee on the wood so not to leave any indentations at the moment as we're laying this down. So generally people think, oh, we'll just put a strip down here. That's not what you do. What we do is we take that probably 1/2 metre back with a new fresh roll it over the actual lip like we've done so far here, and then we cut cleanly so we've got a nice clean edge. So this particular piece will take up maybe halfway through, then we'll put another piece of turf on top of it, saw straight down the line using a piece of wood, and then obviously we'd use another one and roll it over the actual tarmac, and then we've got a clean edge. So there's all particular different types of technique in regards to laying turf, and we use the professional way. We've used a roller here once we've actually raked over the soil, got it to a good level, flattens it again, re-raked it, got it nice and fluffy, so that obviously the roots from the grass can actually penetrate the soil and start germinating and growing, and effectively creating a very, very nice and clean lawn. You're never going to get it straight first time round. That's why we're constantly relifting and relaying, relifting and relaying. But as you can see, this position here now is starting to come together quite nicely. Sun's out, and I'm conscious of obviously the water, which we got these this morning. These were cut fresh this morning. Thanks, Mike. And you can see the actual discoloration between these two now. So the moisture is starting to actually dry out, hence the reason why it's very important to get these down. And once they're down, you can't just walk away from it. You've got to water it. And for the next 6 weeks, this will be watered, fed, and effectively treated extremely, extremely carefully with kid gloves. Because we want the investment that obviously the client's making here, you clearly want a very, very good lawn, and something that is something to be proud of. So this is the way that we do things here. I think Lee's going. Have you had enough, Lee?
Yeah.
Is that the goodbye?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, thanks very much, pal. Nice to see you.
As always.
Have a good one. All right, I'll speak to you later.
Yeah, I'll give you a bell later on.
Cheers.
Boys.
And that's it. So this is from Simon and the Prestige team. Wishing you a good afternoon. Should you wish to have any information on laying turf, laying the lawn down, please get in touch. We are very passionate about what we do. Come through, Danny. As I'm passionate about what we do, any information, any inquiries, please contact me, Simon at Prestige Garden Services, or look up our live feeds on Prestige Garden Services on Facebook. Have a good afternoon from Simon and the team.